Hello and welcome everybody. This is the Domain Gaming presenting Harmony's Fall.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and all of those gathered round, cast your minds back to our previous episode, where our intrepid adventurers did in fact run into we're off to a great start. Hold on, did
Go ahead.
Did we do
Just keep
the
going.
ceremony correct? Okay. But with that said, cast your minds back to prior memories, all of you, because one of you, and by that I mean, wow, y'all lucked out. You get me tonight. Is going to regale the party in what occurred. Last time in Harmony's Fall, our intrepid adventurers had made their way to an orc encampment and inquired as to the nature of the creature that they had been sent to identify for dissonance. Needless to say, the creature turned out to be a sacred young child.
Just keep going.
The creature turned out to be a sacred child of a highly respected guardian of the Fae. This, of course, sent the vast majority of the elders' tent into a bit of concern, and there was calm amongst the camp, and then the explosion started. And if that wasn't bad enough, the camp was under attack. Our party dashed out of the elders' tent, ran towards the gate. Combat was had. Shrooms had the shiitake beaten out of them. And problems here and there. Yikashi was grabbed by a rock with tentacles.
Also known as a rocktopus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're tentatively referring to it as a rocktopus. Ural charged the weird thing that was trying to outscream it, because Ural is the one who screams. That did not go all that well.
He's still the one who screams.
And now Ural is screaming mad obscenities and other random bits of things that make no sense. And just when we thought that this entire episode was going to get wrapped up in a nice little total party kill, Devin had his sword start screaming at him as a cloaked figure marched at the back of this attacking army. The wind from an exploding shroom blasted away the hood, revealing a tentacle-mouthed illithid whom brandished a long purple blade that shimmered and glowed with no seeming source to the actual blade itself. It seemed that sheer energy was maintaining it. It was at this point our party collectively decided that they were in trouble, and that was where we left off. So, any last words? Sorry, I mean, let's begin with the combat.
Really?
We'll decide the order we're dying in.
No, we're just going to pick up with the initiative from last time. So we're going to start with Yikashi. You have a few of the tendrils still attached to you, but it appears that cutting them away is easy enough. You could attempt to escape if you wish through some other means, but I leave that totally up to you.
I mean, my sword hand is free, right? That's the last thing I
Yes.
remember.
Yes. When it reached and tried to grab at you, you used your defensive techniques that you learned as a fencer and parried that one away, but the rest still got to you.
Well, I want to do it again, and I want to back away to collect myself and really check out the situation with everyone.
Let's see. Target is restrained and has disadvantage on strength saving throws. Creature cannot use. Okay. So you're going to attempt an escape.
Yes, I want to slash the other octopus arms away and just back up.
All right. Give me an acrobatics roll.
And that's just a D20 plus what I got for the total acrobatics, right?
Yes, it should be like a +6, +7, or maybe even higher.
+6.
+6. Yeah.
Okay. I'm really. Do I got lag right now? Really? Okay, I got 25.
25.
That's including the 6.
Right. So as the slimy tendrils kind of wrap around you, you realize that it is a viscous substance against your leather armor, and so it almost, you find your way through. You use your weapon, your rapier, to kind of pry at it to get some kind of gap, and then using that, you're able to leap away from the creature. That does use your entire action to escape, but you can use your movement in any direction you want to go.
Since I'm free, I'm take a look around me. Who's the closest to me?
Well, you have, let's see, off in the, you're kind of dead center of the conflict. There are orcs like slashing and hacking away at other tendril rocks. There's some orcs being eaten by said tendril rocks. There are shrooms exploding spores everywhere if they're not being hacked to death by other orcs. The shamans of the camp are shooting blasts of wind kind of to blow and push away the spores.
Cut the tribal people out. The people I came with. Who's near me? Yeah, sorry, screw the tribal people.
It's hard to tell. It really is. But needless to say, looking around, you look for anyone who's not an orc, because that's about the only identifier you have at this moment. And you note that Devin has locked eyes with a creature far off in the back. I believe, Kaya, you were being dogpiled by shrooms?
Yes.
Yeah, you see your little gnomish tank of armor just, using a shield to kind of push back some of the shrooms as they attempt to dogpile onto her in the world's worst sauteed mushrooms pile. And Jace, I believe you were in the back trying to figure out what on earth you're going to do.
No,
snake.
Yeah, I'm the giant
you're
constrictor.
snake. And there's a giant snake running around. You can only assume that's Jace.
At least you hope.
I hope. Okay. So. Okay, everyone is kind of everywhere. I wish I had like a map or a grid or something.
Well,
Pretty sure I'm
theater
right
of the
next to
mind,
you
so-
because I had cut one of the tentacles off.
Yes, that is true. So, it's theater of the mind. So just kind of like, you don't have to worry about like a grid. You don't have to think about movement too much. I'm running theater of the mind. So a lot of the foot distance rules don't really apply.
Okay. Yukishi's kind of fast anyway, so I'm gonna dash over to the gnome and just, because we're gonna need we need to heal a lot of people, so I'm gonna dash over to the gnome and just like start just yeet all the shrooms away from her.
So nothing is gonna happen yet, but like you run over and you figure your best attempt is going to be to like table flip the shield so that you can push the shrooms. You're a rogue. I'll consider that I believe it's like you have an ability, and I'm sorry that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is that cunning? Cunning action?
Yeah, cunning action. So as your cunning action, I'll give a little wiggle room here and say that you'll help Kaya. So like you'll reach down and kind of provide what little strength your dexterous form can provide to rage flip the shield.
Okay. Make her sound weak, but okay.
You're about average strength, but that's a lot of shrooms, and you think, oh, shrooms aren't that heavy, but 20 of them piled on top of someone that's about the same size as the shrooms.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So table flip.
Yeah, you're gonna help with that. So it's about that time. The creature that you escaped from, since you are now long out of the picture, it is going to take its attention, lacking. It has one tendril. It's going to attempt to lash out at Devin.
Because I'm right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry.
That is a 17 to hit.
That is my AC, 17.
So it just barely grabs onto you, but it does, in fact, manage to wrap itself around you, and it's going to... All right, that appears to be... Oh, it uses real... Okay, so it does have multi-attack, in fact. So, as this thing... It doesn't so much pull you to it, it pulls it to you. Or it pulls... Yeah, it pulls it to you. And as it comes up to you, what you see is the front of this rock just open up with a gaping, toothy maw, the teeth about the size of small daggers, as they attempt to sink into you. So I get to use this. That's nice.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Yeah. So let's see. That is 4d8 piercing damage. So 2, 3, 4. You get off lucky. You only take 10 damage.
Whew. Okay.
So its loose grip does kind of just graze at you and takes a good chunk out of your arm, out of your clothing, and it does scratch into your side. But yeah, you've got that to worry about. All the while, your sword is screaming for the blood of the Eldritch, I might add.
I'm busy at the moment.
Fight faster. So, Jace, it's your turn.
How far am I away from the dog pile?
Yeah, you could double back and get to it.
Can I make kind of an improvised attack that's not on my list?
In what way?
Coil myself up and then uncoil myself to essentially tail whip.
I'll tell you what. I'll consider this an athletics check to shove.
Okay.
So give me an athletics roll using the constrictor's strength bonus.
Okay.
You are not proficient in athletics, I don't believe. Are you?
No.
So this would be a d20 plus the constrictor's strength modifier.
Which is 4.
Right.
Which isn't too bad. I got a 12.
12. Well, I'm going to roll for Swarm here. All right, well, so rules got a little finicky, but I'll say that you do manage to tail whip a good chunk of them off. You kind of like skim the top, and it's not that strong. You've never actually tried to do this before, so
No.
you start from the middle of your body and try to like whip around, and it's really more of like a lumbering arm swipe than it is anything of real precision. But you knock a few off.
Try not to hit Yikashi.
You do manage to avoid hitting Yikashi. This is true.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Which just make it a lot easier for those two to push the less number off.
So, Kaya, you are being piled by shrooms. They're little, small teeth. Really just the size of like animal teeth. They're like, trying to gnaw at your metallic form. What do you want to do? Yikashi is there, like kneeled, like crouched down, trying to lift your shield, which is the only thing keeping them from like just gnawing into you and potentially breaching your armor.
So am I just like ducked with my shield up?
You are prone. So like you're laying on your back and they just kind of like glomp you, for lack of better words.
Oh, can I summon my spiritual weapon?
Sure.
Oh,
what form do you want your spiritual weapon to take?
It doesn't give me a list. Oh, wait, yes.
Whatever form you want.
Thor's hammer.
Yeah, it's literally whatever form you want. It can
Yeah, I want
it can be the most creative thing. It could be the dumbest thing either. It's totally up to you. So yeah, you want to summon a hammer. All right.
Yeah.
So you start. Yikashi, what you hear is a very quick and rapid prayer to Bachuna, Kaya's goddess. I believe it was Bachuna.
I thought it was the trickster goddess.
No, it was the trickster goddess. My apologies. But yes, the hammer that appears, because this is the trickster goddess, the GM gets to have a little fun with this. The hammer that appears is not quite as imposing as you might have imagined. It has like little red rubber squishy ends on it.
A child's toy. I'd say in my head.
It's basically a large. It's like a two-handed sledgehammer variant of a child's toy hammer.
That little squeaky thing.
So a soccer bopper. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, trickster god.
Does it work?
Oh yeah, it works just fine. It works just fine. So as part of summoning it, you do get to attack with it.
Yes. Says 1d8 plus my ability modifier? Spellcasting ability. Which one's that one?
That's your wisdom. So give me a... So basically you make what's called a melee spell attack, which is a d20 plus your wisdom plus your proficiency.
Okay, 16 plus what?
Plus your wisdom.
This
Your
is
wisdom modifier.
3. So that's 19.
Right, and then the proficiency, which is also 3, so 22.
Woohoo!
And
Nice.
then roll your damage.
1d8. Please don't be a 1. Yes! 7.
7 plus your modifier. Excuse me.
Mod.
Your wisdom, which is 3.
That's
So
3.
10. So what appears is this large squeaky hammer, for lack of better words. But like a certain sour and sweet candy, it slams with the force of the divine into the shrooms and basically just like chucks smushed mushroom a good 20 feet with just a single like backhand of the hammer. And then it continues to float, which will allow you to use your movement to get up.
Oh, okay, great. I get up. But I do the superhero pose as I get up.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that my turn? Or do I have another turn?
That's pretty much it.
Yay, superhero pose. Da 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 da.
All right. And then let's see. So while this is going on, you like stand up and look defiantly, and you kind of strike the pose, and because of your short stature, your eye angle kind of comes against or looks into the tentacled creature, the robed figure that has produced the purplish energy blade off in the distance. You also happen to see orcs charging to it. They don't last. As one comes down with a two-handed hammer, the blade just seemingly cuts through both weapon and orc as if it were butter. And though there's no visible wound on the creature, the orc falls over dead.
Uh-oh.
So, Ural, roll me another
I'm
D8.
screaming.
Yeah.
Yes, you're screaming. Roll me
You're
another
screaming.
D8. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a... Is it a D8?
That's what I
Yes,
rolled
it is a
last
D8.
time.
Yes.
Okay. 8.
8. Your mind has given way not just to mad ravings, but of the desperate need to escape. You reach out for your weapon and just begin swinging it wildly, not aimed at the creature in front of you, but of the nearest thing around you. I'm not going to bother because there's no allies in the area. So you basically just start hacking away at shrooms in a blood rage. But you're also walking the wrong way.
As in,
Is
which
there
way?
really a wrong way when I'm surrounded by enemies? I think not.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if you get a reroll on the save or not.
Not if you've homebrewed it.
Well, no. It's just how I wrote it. I don't believe I wrote it that way. So I'll say that if someone interferes with your mad ravings, they can. Yep. If someone interferes, you get a roll. But other than that, no, you don't. And then it is going to roll to recharge. Oh, goody.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yes.
So this
Shivering
creature-
Malthus with permanent effects. This is fun.
that's a funny way of saying breath weapon.
What?
So you're like walking away. It has totally ignored you. It has now turned its focus towards the adventuring party and the other orcs in the camp. And it just, the rock, or I guess not the rock, but this thing is more flesh than rock. The flesh balloons from the bottom. It just spews out this bile of like acid and
I forgot
Not
they got,
again.
I forgot they got an acid breath. Oh god, oh fuck.
More acid, yay!
Oh no.
so the only one in range is Jace.
Of course.
I mean, not counting the orcs who just got, acid dumped on them for lack of better words. So I need a dexterity saving throw from the constrictor.
Well, at least I have some dexterity. 16.
16. You see this glob coming in. The PTSD of the last time acid got thrown at you kicks in, and you somehow like serpentine barrel roll away. Like the snake starts rolling away, like combat rolling away. The glob hits, and it's not acid. When it lands, this blinding flash of light just explodes everywhere, and it hits a bunch of creatures and things. The shrooms are not affected due to a lot, for whatever reason. You presume it's because they have caps that shield their eyes. The much taller creatures, not so much, as general pandemonium has occurred in the area. So that's going to be it. So that was Euro's turn. That was the modified Gibbering Mouther's turn. So, Devin.
Get me off this thing.
You can attempt to escape, or you can attempt to cut the one tentacle that's got you bound.
Is that its only tentacle, or is that just the one it happened to get me with?
Oh no, it's got like, let's see, Yikashi cut one, so
I
it's
cut
got
one.
5 more. Oh yeah, you cut one, so it's got 4 left. 4 left. Oh no, I'm sorry. So it only has 2 left.
2 left. Oh.
Yeah.
That's doable. Well, I'm going to attack it. So,
All right. I believe you get multi-attack as part of your hex blade.
yes, I can hit twice. so that's not going to work. 5 and 7 is 12 to
That's a
hit.
hit.
Oh, all right.
Wait, on this, actually, what is it? I'm trying to see what its AC is. No, it's not. You strike it, but it has a very elastic texture, and you just kind of bounce right off of it.
Missed. All right. Second attack is much better. It's 24 to hit.
That hits. Deal damage.
Damage is 1d8 plus 4. 6, 10 damage.
You cut it almost all the way off, and then the last little strand, as the creature flexes back from you hitting it, just kind of snaps.
Twing. Sweet.
In like a sinewy pull. It's not quite a clean cut, but it was just barely enough.
It's enough. I'm gonna start making my way to the tentacle face.
Okay, it is going to attempt to swipe at you with its teeth. You're not grappled, thus it does not have advantage. That is a 16, so it clips at your clothing behind you, but that's all it gets.
Haha. Sucker.
All right. And
That
you're
should
going
be
to
all I
make
can
your
do.
way to that
Yeah.
creature. All right.
I don't think I can reach it yet, but I'm making my way toward it.
Top of the round, Yikishi. You are standing with Kaya.
Okay.
And my
Okay.
super hammer.
Right, you're posing like miniature Thor.
Mhm.
I remember I was carrying something called water skin. Is that a defensive thing? Because how I'm picturing about using it is
No,
just
It's a water
It's
bottle.
just a glorified Aquafina bottle. It's just a bottle of water.
Water skins in real life are literally the stomach of an animal that you carry water in.
okay. I'm thinking D&D magical, water defense, so I could just slip away from stuff. But you know what? Never mind. Some things are just literal.
It's just drinking water.
Yeah,
So you're
some, like in no, uppercase italics. Some things are literal.
Okay. So
This is not the time to sip water.
I'm not going to sip water.
I mean,
All right,
you
so
could,
we
you could
got-
come up with a creative use for the water skin. I don't know what, but you.
No. Okay, so we got someone going thrashing crazy. Someone else is fighting a rock thing. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna start helping the village people. I'm gonna take out my short bow and just start shooting whatever they're fighting, just so they can get free and team up with one another.
Okay, so give me an attack roll. Just roll the d20 for me and tell me that number.
Okay. So 1d20. 16.
16.
Not that great.
No, it's all right. So as you pull out your short bow and arrow, and you just start kind of finding shots that are simple enough for you to hit to start thinning numbers, and you just arrow after arrow after arrow, start taking multiple shots, taking out shrooms. One of your shots kind of like nicks the tendril of one of the rock creatures, which gives one of the orcs time to cut it away and free themselves. But yeah, you just start popping shroom heads, basically.
Shrooms.
All right. So, Devin,
Me?
you come charging up to this being, this creature that has come up, and as soon as you get within striking distance of it, it disappears in a flash of purple. And you panic, you look around for it, and instinctually you turn around and wield your blade up, and it is going to make an attack. That's a 24. Right, and it is going to use Psionic Gash. That is 16 damage.
Okay.
Your blade is not quite quick enough as it just slashes through your chest area and leaves a nice nothing. But you feel the pain in your body nonetheless, as if you've been cleaved in half. You're still standing.
It hurts, but there's nothing there.
And as it does that, it's going to use its second attack. Yeah. Its second attack, it just kind of grabs you by the chest, and you see the tendrils are not its mouth. Its mouth is, in fact, under the tendrils.
Huh?
And though the mouth does not move, you hear a voice in your head. Foolish mortal.
Yeah, I've been told that before.
Jace.
Yeah.
Devin is essentially like being picked up off of the ground and like hoisted by one arm up in the air.
Yes.
Help me.
I realize that's the cue to go help him. However, I don't have great movement. I will slither as far as I can and get as close as I can.
I will say you can make the distance, or or rather, tell you what, give me an athletics roll.
+4.
Mm-hmm.
7.
It's what?
7 total.
Yeah, you're pretty sluggish. You just dodged something. You see it and you start booking. You get up to it. You can do something on your next turn, but you're not quite there.
I'm assuming every time I slither since I'm a huge constrictor, I'm like knocking mushrooms out of the way.
Yeah, you're like just knocking them over like fat middle schoolers, just like.
Middle schooler.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the big kid just comes barreling down the hallway and just like knocking
Yeah.
kids left and right.
Yeah.
That's base Ghost Con. It's a crowded hallway, and Lurch is just admittedly like doing the worm through the hallway, but still knocking things left and right.
It's pizza bagel day.
Ew, I hated those.
Anyway.
Yeah. So Kaya,
Yes.
you naturally see this occurring as well, being at the appropriate angle, height, and direction for that. You also see Euro running around, like screaming madly. You're not sure if that's normal.
Man, I was on the floor for a little too long. Okay, so are all them shrooms off of me now?
Yes. You have not
Okay.
been dogpiled yet.
Wait, so there's two people in trouble. Pooter's in trouble, and then Ural's in trouble.
You get the sense Ural is in trouble. It's not. It's a question of, is he in trouble or is that normal for him? You don't actually know.
That's true. He's
But
just annoying.
he seems to be in trouble. So I mean, I'll say you can help either person, but it's up to you.
Okay. When in doubt, follow the screaming. I'm gonna go help out Ural. I think. I think I'm helping. I'm following.
Because basically, you get up to Ural, and Ural is just ranting. You have no idea what language he's yelling in.
Oh,
You have
dear.
no idea if he's yelling a language. All you know is this bloodshot, rageaholic orc is just like stone cold, nondescript wrestler slamming like a chair through the crowd.
Can I like slap him? Like,
Yes, Ural, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Do I have a wisdom mod? I don't know if I do. No, I
Can
don't.
she
All
reach?
right, flat D20.
I can hop. Like,
She can slap him in the
I
nuts.
got a 17.
17.
No mods.
butt slap.
Your rage and your rage, your excitement, your whatever adrenaline is driving you, suddenly everything just goes white for a moment, just like a flash of light, and you feel a little like almost the size of like getting hit in the side of the face by a turkey leg. And you look and there's Kaya just like somehow managed with a 4-foot lateral manages to smack you in the side of the face. You
right.
are yourself again.
Oh,
Okay. I continue to scream.
Why?
stop for a moment. Okay,
Um,
it must be this planet thing or whatever.
Must be normal.
Must be normal. Must be from his village.
Well, despite the screaming, the cloudiness over his eyes appears to have dissipated.
Oh, there's cloudiness in his eyes. Okay.
Well, there
So-
was, not anymore.
Well, now he's just screaming for the hell of it. Good to know. Is there anything my hammer can attack?
The gibbering creature that apparently turned him into a raging lunatic not too long ago.
Okay, I attack that. Wait, can I?
Okay. Yes,
think
you
I
can
can.
as a bonus action. Well, I think
Yeah.
as a bonus action, you make the thing move. I don't know if you can attack and move at the same time. I forget that part. I'll say for the purposes of this, sure, you can. I'll look it up. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, all it says is and repeat the attack against a creature within 5 feet of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Okay, so D20 first?
yes.
D20 first. 8. Then plus what? My...
So it was an 8 plus your plus 6, basically. Plus your wisdom, plus your proficiency, which I believe is 6 total. So 8 plus 6. That hits. Roll damage.
Woohoo!
And yes, I did confirm you can attack and move the weapon at the same time.
Sweet.
Nice.
Okay, 4.
4.
Yeah.
Plus your wisdom modifier of 3.
3.
Brings it to 7 total damage.
Mhm.
It squeaks, but the neighboring thing is disrupted, if only for a moment. I mean, it's weird that the weapon squeaks, but your god is known for playing tricks and for achieving what you want, just not necessarily in the way you want it. So as weird as this is, it's kind of par for the course.
You know what? I like it.
So Ural, you're up. You can identify friend from foe.
Oh boy. Okay, so I look around. How's the situation?
It's
Hilarious.
It's
Dicey.
bad, but
it's rough. There is no clear winner yet. The camp is still holding, but for how long you're still not sure.
are there still a noticeable amount of orcs that are
Yes.
clearly under the influence of the screamy flesh thing?
Oh, that not quite. There's only a couple. It seems once you get a certain distance away from the thing, the effect starts to fade.
Okay, well, I assume I now actually see the mind flayer.
Yes.
Okay.
You see that it has Devin in a death grip, good 2 feet off the ground. Yeah.
Okay, how far away is it?
Close enough for movement.
I'm going to tackle it.
Ooh.
Okay, give me an athletics roll.
How's a nat 20? 26.
Nice.
So I'm running out of real world analogies here. Probably my worst. But like a freight train, this 7-8 foot tall orc just like truck slams this entity, and you shove it a good 10 feet back. Devin, you kind of land on the ground.
Oh, good. It let me go.
Yeah, well, the shock. It just all you just hear is. You know what? I'll say with that. Yeah, the creature is now prone. If you wish to make an attack.
Okay, yeah, I'll attack. Why not? I think I'm probably still raging unless the
Yes.
the screaming interrupted my rage. Okay.
So fortunately, you did get the roll that basically allows you to continue attacking. So your rage held.
Ha, I see.
Nice.
Okay, well then, I guess I just use my axe because it's the same dice as the tail.
You do have advantage as the target is prone.
Okay. This is then 20 and 19 are my 2 attack rolls.
Yeah, those both hit.
Okay.
Was that like? So was it?
I attack. I have a extra attack, so it was both attacks, and that was taking the advantage.
Okay, was that 20 and a natural 20?
No, it was a 14 plus my mods.
Okay, so good to know because that mattered. Your first one hits, but go ahead and deal damage.
Okay, it'd be 7.
Wow.
What does the battle axe do if that matters? I don't really remember.
It's
Probably slashing.
Yeah, slashing. So yeah, you deal a total of 7 damage to it. Your second strike comes down and aims for its head, and it just reaches one hand up, and the blade doesn't quite come into contact with the hand. But the force of you pressing down with your axe to try and get the cut, it is actually resisting with its hand.
Ooh.
Well, he didn't resist the first one, so fuck him. No, I did it again. I'm not allowed to curse. Shit.
I like this guy.
Whoops.
He is trying, I promise.
We know.
So Devin, you catch your breath. You see Ural is like in this battle of axe versus hand, and the hand seems to be winning at the moment.
All right. So first, I'm gonna cast Hex on the Mind Flayer.
All right, and
That's
what
bonus
form is your
action.
hex going to take?
What form? As in,
Hold on. Sorry, I might be thinking of the wrong ability.
so I place a curse on a creature that I can see within range. I deal
Oh, I see.
1d6
Extra. So
necronic.
yeah, okay, so you just do it.
Yeah, basically.
Sorry,
And
it's
then-
basically Hunter's Mark for Warlocks. I forgot.
Yes. They also get a disadvantage on an ability check with the chosen ability.
What are you going to make that ability?
I don't know what they have, so
They have the same stats you do.
okay. What do
So
I
the core stats, the strength,
Strength,
con-
Dex, yeah.
all that.
Dang, what would be a good one? I don't know.
A little bit of GM insight here. I'm not going to tell you about the creature, but I'll tell you about Hex. So Hex is typically good for its disadvantage on ability checks, but I will point out ability checks are not saving throws. So if you're thinking, oh, I can make it weaker to my spells, no, because the spells typically require saving throws, so that won't work.
Okay.
But something like, say, strength to make it weaker on the athletic side, or dexterity to make it weaker on the acrobatics. You're essentially affecting non-combat things, or your non-attack based things.
Ah.
Yes, because ability checks are things like the athletics. They're essentially your skills, but you can affect an entire section of the skills by shutting down by affecting an individual stat.
Okay. Well, I would like it to have disadvantage on attacks, but I don't know what stat it uses to attack.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
And then I'm not
Well,
sure an attack roll is considered an ability check.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not an ability
like
check.
even if it uses, like, I use charisma.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh,
It's an attack roll with a modifier based on its ability score. It's not a check.
I see. Okay. Well, then I will give it disadvantage on Dex. Dexterity-based checks.
So if it has to use its dexterity as part of a skill check or an ability check, it will have disadvantage.
Yes.
Right, and that was a bonus action.
Bonus action, so I can still hit it twice. Assuming I
So-
can hit it twice.
Yes, you can certainly try.
Yes. All right, so first attack is 13 plus 7. That's 20 to hit.
20. That does not hit as you strike the. You almost hit like a barrier around it.
Hmm.
You seem to strike the same barrier that it's using to prevent Ural from attacking it.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, here's the second attack. Oh, that's even worse. So that's not gonna hit.
Wizards of
Yeah,
the Coast
you
makes
just you just like you try to stab at it, and
Uh-huh.
it's like whatever energy it's using, it's the same color as the blade that it has. It just seems to be holding it back.
Okay. Well, that's 2 attacks. Bonus action. I don't really plan on moving. I guess I could back up a little. Yeah, I'll back up a little.
All right. Then top of the round, Yukichi.
Hi. Has my rapid fire of arrows helped at all?
Oh yeah, you're thinning out targets. You're definitely doing your job.
Okay. With my feline eyes, can I just see the difference of the enemies to find out who the leader is so I can shoot them? Like if there's like a shroom leader or something?
A shroom leader, you can't really tell, but you've basically got the thing that is next to Jace and Kaya, or no, next to Kaya, I believe, because I believe Kaya's by herself, and the weird random thing that is yelling wildly. And then there's also the thing that everyone else is attacking that looks like if a squid had, a 7-foot tall body.
Okay, so 7-foot squid, a screaming blob, and what was the third thing?
No, that's pretty much it.
That's it. That's all I could see within the range.
Well, I mean,
of my area.
you've got the shrooms and you've got the other stone tentacle things, but they're much larger in number. Those are the two unique things on the field.
Okay, so hopefully this won't be too stupid. I'm gonna just start rapid fire, like just at that screaming blob, and I would like to put some extra strength into that. I don't think I have any special arrows on me though.
So it's weird.
Don't tell me they bounce off him.
No.
Oh, okay, I'm about to be mad.
Maybe. We haven't rolled yet.
Oh.
But because you're a swashbuckler and you're not currently surrounded, you get your sneak attack damage. Don't think about it too hard. That's just how swashbuckler works. So basically make a short bow attack.
Okay, what was that again? 1d6 plus 3?
Yeah, but you have to roll to attack first, so it's that other plus. It's a d20 plus that other number.
Thank you. I was confused for a second. So, d20, 14, and then the other number. What is the other number?
You rolled a 14 total?
No, that roll with the d20 was 14, and then the 3 piercing. So add that.
Well, no. Hold on. You rolled a 14. Let me pull up your character sheet.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just can't remember where I put the character sheet because I'm bad. Let's see. Where did I put everything?
Where are we?
No, seriously, where did I put?
Who are we?
Why are we?
Where are we? Okay, there we go. I found you. I am so sorry. So where it says short bow, it says range both hands plus 6. So you roll a d20, add that plus 6, and then your damage is the 1d6 plus 3 plus your sneak attack, which I believe is an additional 2d6. No, 3d6. So you'll roll 4d6 plus 3 if a 20 hits, and it does.
Okay.
So,
so 4d6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 16 for the 4d6 in total.
Nice. So I have to do math. Wow. So yeah, you find your mark right there at kind of just above its mouth where the flesh is, open, and you do sink just above it, and it stops for a moment, and then it roars, and it's this kind of like blood curdling, unnatural roar.
My cat is gonna hurt my ears. I'm gonna just keep shooting and hopefully hit its mouth so we can shut up. Can I shoot it in the mouth?
It is starting. Well, you only get one attack as a rogue. It is starting to charge in your direction.
It's got legs.
You must say what? I thought it was a
shamble,
blob.
but it's just like it's like going faster towards you.
Okay, can I just switch from like my bow and arrow to my rapier? You know,
Yes.
get on a defensive in this
Yes,
end of my turn.
You may do that. We'll get to that thing later.
Cool.
Sorry, had to run some numbers here. So the creature, Ural and Devin, it was knocked prone. It is going to once again disappear.
Poof.
A flash of purple, and then
Why would Wizards make this class? I hate this.
and then it is going to, and it appears about 10 feet away, and it's going to reach its hand out, and I need both of you to make, technically this is fortitude, so Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. Constitution. Do I have advantage on Constitution for resilient? Let me see.
No, you have.
Oh, just proficiency.
Yeah, it gives you extra Constitution saving throw.
Roll.
Garbage
It's
today.
11. 17 total.
I got a 10.
Do you
enough.
get advantage on con saves as
I-
part of rage?
Don't think so. I think it's just strength.
Okay.
I have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. It's not helpful.
No, this is lightning. So, Devin, you bring your blade up, and the blade starts to kind of absorb some of this. You're still gonna get quite the shock.
Yeah.
As this purplish, pinkish energy just starts, coming out from its hand in a cone. That is. So, Devin, you take 6 damage.
Okay.
Ural, you take 13. And Ural, you are considered restrained.
Damn. Yeah, parry lightning.
Yeah. Basically, you're being tased, essentially, as the muscles start to seize up. Devin, you are not.
Hey.
And then it's going to use... No, I'm just kidding. Jace, you're up. You were outside of the cone of this.
Yeah, I was just going, yay, I'm not a part of this. However, I am going to go ahead and close whatever distance I need, and I am... I will go ahead and go for the constrict.
All right. Is that an attack roll or a strength throw?
That is an attack
All right.
at +6. 16.
You make your calculated leap, but you lack the feline butt wiggle necessary to never miss. And there's almost like a turn, like it almost sees that you were about to do it, and it just leans to one side as you glance against it.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to coil back up and wait for my next attempt.
Yeah. So Kaya,
Mm-hmm.
you saw this thing scream and start charging towards Yikishi.
Oh dear.
There's also like purple, pink lightning just coming out of this other creature's hands.
There's a lot going on. What's the best thing for my hammer to hit?
So you can continue to hit the thing, the creature, the gibbering, screaming thing. Interestingly enough, it can keep up with this thing. You can do that as a distance and not get too close to it. So, if you want to keep using your hammer, you can. You also do get your normal attack. Like, that's only using your bonus action. You do still have your movement and your action.
So I can move, Well, yeah, I can attack too, right? My hammer only goes away once I actually use another spell.
No, you can use a non-concentration spell. As long as it's not marked as concentration, you can continue to keep the hammer up.
Oh, okay. Does anybody need
Actually,
healing?
it might not even matter. Hold on. But no, continue. Does anyone look particularly hurt? You're not allowed to announce numbers, but
I look particularly hurt.
he does look like he's struggling. You're not sure how he's struggling because you see no wounds on him. Well, no, there's the big gash mark from
There's internal bleeding.
No.
Because if it's only concentrated spells, I could do cure wounds. That one says instantaneous. I just have to touch you.
Yep, that is the one thing. You are too far away to get to any particular person.
So I would have to travel a bit?
Yes. You could sprint.
Healing
enough.
word.
Yeah, or you could use healing word for a little bit of healing.
Well, I don't want to be too far away from the group either. So I sprint.
Okay, so you're just going to use your entire turn to sprint.
Yes, my tiny legs.
In addition, I have also discovered Spiritual Weapon is not, in fact, a concentration spell.
Oh, cool.
Nope.
So you can cast a second spell and have it up, because I do not see a concentration.
Yay. I like this little thing.
Yeah.
Alright, I end my turn. Because that's all I can do. I sprint.
Oh, which way are you sprinting?
Towards Devin?
Okay.
Does she still have a bonus action?
No, her bonus... Well, yeah, what are you going to do with the weapon?
Oh. My weapon can attack 20 feet from me? Or something
No,
like
it
that?
can move 20 feet.
Move 20
It can
feet.
move 20 feet. It can be 60 feet away from you, which is pretty much the scope of combat at the moment. It's more like 80 feet, but semantics. So yeah, you could have it continue attacking the other creature, or you can bring it with you to protect you, whichever.
I keep my hammer where it is to attack that same thing.
Okay, that thing is that screaming thing is moving, but it's not moving like super fast, so you're able to get a hit.
Okay. A hit. Okay. Do I still have to roll a d20?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. I rolled a 1. Sorry. I just pictured my hammer kind of like bending. Like
No,
bending.
it totally misses and just hits the ground with a squeak.
Aw. Wah wah.
All right. So this thing, it's gonna continue. It's not fast, Yikashi, but it is heading your direction. That's all it can do this round. Devin,
Yes.
you're up.
I'm up.
You can move. You can act. All that stuff.
All right. I'm gonna try blink. Cast a blink.
Okay.
So roll a d20. 11 or higher, I vanish, and I get 18.
18. So you poof.
I poof. So that's
This is the one that puts you in a different realm, right?
the ethereal.
So, in the ethereal realm, things look a little different. You don't necessarily see the trees or clouds, at least not in the same way that you would see them before. Inside the ethereal realm, you actually do not have any obscuring vision between you and Harmony.
Oh.
And it catches your eye. You look up and you see the city is under siege. The city is there's infighting going on. Entire buildings have seemingly been reduced to rubble. Interestingly enough, the city seems a lot older. Or at least it seems older. There's cracks. There's things that show signs of a lot of age, almost a millennium.
It doesn't look as pristine as we thought it was.
Correct. Looking around, you also see coming from this creature that's attacking you, the energy is not just a physical energy, it's also a different kind of energy you're not familiar with. And it even seems to somewhat, though not particularly harmfully, exist in the ethereal realm.
Oh. Okay, can I move in the ethereal plane?
I believe you can, based on the spell's description.
Okay. I'm going to... What can I do? I'm going to move behind the Mind Flayer.
Okay. I believe, if I remember the spell description correctly, you do nothing now, but at the
Right.
beginning of your next turn, you will
I
plink
poof back in. Yes.
Do your thing. Okay.
And then at the end of that turn, I roll, and 11 or higher, I blink back out.
Correct. So, Yikishi, you're up.
Hi, I got Jello coming after me, right?
Yeah, Jello with really big teeth.
Meat Jello. Mm.
So I'm gonna take back what I said. I'm not gonna draw my rapier, but I am gonna keep my short bow and just stay on the defensive and shoot.
Like a fleshy coleslaw. It just shambles.
Okay, look. Don't ruin coleslaw for me, all right? That's kind of disrespectful. Okay.
No, I'm talking about the bad kind of coleslaw, where just like way too much mayonnaise or whatever they put in it on it, and it's just like, oh, you know what I'm talking about? Not like that good.
Yeah, that
Potato
hometown
salad
buffet
style,
sizzler
yeah.
coleslaw, that cheap stuff.
It's been sitting out too long.
Ugh. Gross. Okay, so I'm gonna stay on the defensive. Looking, as I'm kind of like keeping my distance, do I see any weak spots on this creature screaming
I
thing?
mean, it doesn't look particularly hard to hit. So, it looks to be more a case of doing enough damage to it versus hitting a weak spot. Although you imagine probably its mouth is pretty weak.
And it's kind of roaring at me, so I'm gonna just rapid fire in its mouth.
Okay, so give me an attack roll.
1d20, right?
Yes, D20 plus 6. And really, you're less of a rapid fire person. That was more of a cinematic thing. But you're more of a one-shot sniper type character with how you're set up.
I got 21.
21 total. That hits. 4d6 plus 3.
$18.
Oh, rogues.
What? Is that bad? Did I miss?
No.
Sorry.
No. That's you just did a lot of damage. You have staggered the creature. So I'm going to roll stagger. It actually resurges. So yeah, you hit it, and all you did was made it angrier. But you seem to have hit another spot, not quite in its mouth.
I'm gonna need to put more strength into my next hit. So yeah,
More
I'm just gonna keep
get
more accuracy. What would I add to that to make it more accurate?
Higher number roll.
Yeah,
Other than
you could do that. You could do that.
Abilities? I don't think I got any abilities.
Technically, sharpshooter, you took it, but you probably didn't take the feat.
Well, and sharpshooter reduces your chance to hit in exchange for more damage.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay on the defensive, keeping my distance but still shooting.
Yeah, you're gonna shot on the run.
He's kiting it.
Yeah. So this creature is going to... it has been disrupted by Jace, so this thing is going to reach around with its blade and strike at the constrictor. Oh,
That's not sound good.
that is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, an 18 hits.
All right.
This thing has really low armor.
So you take 15 points of nondescript damage You don't know. You don't quite identify the damage type. It doesn't. The blade looks like it's going to cleave you in two, and it just passes through you. But that doesn't stop the pain from feeling like you've been cleaved in two. And it is going to come down and stab using its multi-attack. That I believe a 10 does not hit you.
No.
As you kind of rear back, it goes to stab down at you, and your snake-like body just kind of moves unnaturally, and it misses.
And then I proceed to go with my tongue at it.
You do that with your tongue, and its tentacles just in response. You feel a voice in the back of your head. The Dark Ones will not be denied my claim. Harmony must fall. Kaya. Oh no, sorry, Jace. You're up.
All right, I am gonna go. Let's see, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the constrict again.
Okay.
That one's better. Okay, that's a total 18 to hit.
18. You go to wrap around it, and you cannot get a grip on it. Despite your best efforts, it seems to almost move like it's borderline ethereal out of your grip. You almost had it. You could have sworn you had it, and you didn't.
Okay. Oh, that's my turn.
Yep. So now it's Kaya's turn.
Woohoo! I was going to heal.
I'm not there anymore.
Oh my god.
Devin has blinked out of existence. You cannot find him.
I'm running and I'm just like, what? He was here. Am I too late? I'm too late. He's dead. Damn it. Okay. Next.
I mean, you saw this thing take a stab at Jace and actually hit it, but there's no blood.
What's up with people not bleeding? Okay. Jace is... Wait, he's a snake right now.
Yes.
Alright, I'm no vet, but I'll go ahead and try to heal him.
Alright.
Am I gonna have to run, or is he nearby too?
No. You as you're running up, you're like, oh, there's no Devin. Snake.
So then, okay, so I make a small UE, and then I run
Not
up.
really. It was just kind of like a slight turn to the left.
Not a full
yeah.
turn.
No, it was just kind of more like a shift your momentum to the left, kind of lean into a turn.
I hug the snake to heal.
So what you're going to do, this does not have an attack roll or anything. It just goes straight to the heal part of it.
Mhm.
So the higher level the spell, the more you heal.
Mm.
So do you just want to do the base level heal for now, or do you want to charge it with a higher level spell? Bear in mind, they are a limited resource.
Right. I'll just do a base heal.
All right, so I believe it's 1d8 plus your wisdom mod,
Yes.
plus 2 because of life domain cleric.
Okay. 8. Okay, that's a 3 plus my wisdom. So that's a 6, and then plus 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
8. The writhing migraine or whatever pain you would feel, Jace, is lessened by the feeling of a very tiny metallic hug.
it's the power of hugs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also add one more to that. Plus 1 because of the spell's level. My apologies, I missed that.
Oh, I thought you were going to add plus 1 for cuteness.
No.
Fine.
Apparently, you're not cute enough.
Apparently, it's just like, no. Fine then. And then I think my hammer can still attack, right? Because it's...
Yes. It can.
Yay! And my hammer continues to do its thing.
On the blob.
On the blob.
Just following it. Ting,
so-
ting, ting.
That said, Yukishi is kiting, so you're gonna this attack is gonna be at the edge of your spell's range. It won't disappear, but it can't go any further without you getting closer.
Okay. So any farther and it's not going to be able to attack, or
Right,
do
you get
can't?
you get this attack, but
Okay.
you're not gonna get a subsequent one.
Okay. D20. Right? Yeah. Okay. That's it. Oh, 17. Yay.
All right, so that hits, deal damage.
Okay. That's a 2. And then plus
wisdom.
3, so that's a 5.
All right, this thing is starting to look worse for wear.
Yay! My squeaky hammer of justice.
So this thing is gonna dash, and it's gonna get right up to Yukishi, but that's all it can do.
And make her feel uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. Yukishi, you start to feel its screaming and yelling get into your mind. It's like your head is starting to mimic what it's saying, and you catch your mouth moving with it
Okay.
against your will.
am-
Mhm. It's not your turn though; it is Devin's
Oh,
turn.
no. I wanna run away.
So you're
You
screaming.
will on your turn.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
Devin, you pop back into existence.
Pop back in. I am currently behind the Mind Flayer.
Yep.
All right. Going to keep trying to attack it.
All right.
So, well, that's a nat 1. Whiff.
Total whiff.
Total whiff.
But you get a second attack.
Second one. Oh, that's much better. That's crap. Got to do something. That's fine. 19 plus 7 is 26.
Yeah, so it tries to reach its hand up to stop you, and you just cut clean through whatever the barrier is. Deal your damage, adding an additional 6.
Alright, so
1d6.
28 plus 4 plus 6, right?
Yep.
So that's 2, 6, 12 damage.
12. So yeah, you just kind of carve right into it.
Ooh.
You deal a significant amount of damage, and as
Plus hex.
oh yeah, plus the hex, which is
Hex,
1d6.
another d6. 1. Yay.
So yeah, you just kind of cut right into it, and as you do, your blade actually glows with energy, and yeah, the blood on the blade, it's got kind of a purplish tint to it, and then the blade almost seems to drink the blood. It doesn't stay on the blade; it absorbs into the blade.
Ooh. Seems my blade is thirsty for your blood. And then blink activates. 13. I'm out.
Yep. Just swing. Poof.
That'll end my turn.
Yep. So, top of the round, Yukishi, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, come on.
You can do it.
Tase existence.
You said wisdom.
Oh, did I
saving-
totally?
Unless
I'm sorry.
I haven't been paying attention correctly.
I believe I accidentally skipped Ural. So,
Oh.
Yukishi, go ahead and do your wisdom saving throw. Ural, I mean, you do lose your movement because
did
of
say
the electric.
And I have a reach weapon.
Well, no, he was within melee distance. Or yeah, he was within melee distance of you. But well, yeah, you can use your reach weapon. I'll just put it that way.
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm confused. Is this like an effect I need to untase myself, or is this just
Your basically your movement is spent like getting yourself back in order. It reduces your speed to 0 for a turn.
Yeah.
Which it was going to keep it up. Then Devin stepped it.
Well, if I have an attack roll, then I'll use the tail, since it's a natural weapon and technically is magical. because of Path of the Beast. I don't know if that matters, but you never know.
It's D&D. Magical is always a good thing.
Okay. Do I want to screw it. I don't care. I'll reckless. What could go wrong? Okay. Alright, so do you want the total number or what I actually rolled? Because this class is stupid.
Unless it's a crit, just give me your total.
1922.
1922. Okay. So yeah, when it kind of took the opportunity, it realized Devin blinked out of existence. It reaches its hand up and it does block your first strike. The second one, not so much. So deal damage. Sorry, say again. 7. All right.
I'm like trash today for damage.
Well, no, I mean you do hit it. You slowly start to whittle it down.
Yes.
All
I have
right.
a D8 and I've rolled 2. My damages.
Nice.
So, Yikushi, what was your wisdom saving throw?
My wisdom saving throw is a D20 plus adding whatever my wisdom is, right?
Yeah, your wisdom saving throw, which I'll pull it up.
I got 28.
Okay, no, not the score, the modifier. Unless
What did you
Oh.
roll? What's the base number you rolled?
16. I rolled a 16 plus my
So what's
modifier,
your-
which is 1, so 17
Yeah.
total.
okay. I was like, wait a minute, 28. Hold on, when did you class into monk?
Been some bull.
All those
Yeah.
push-ups, I
So,
learned to meditate.
Well, I mean, the push-ups and the meditation and all that work helps because you almost hear the orc that was training you yelling at you to get up off your butt and fight and all that. So it keeps the incoherencies from driving you mad. So you may take your move, you may make your action as normal.
Okay, kind of scaring me, man. You said this thing is like up in my face, right? Or did it stop
Yes,
moving because
it
someone
is.
hit it?
No, it's up in your face.
Okay, I am gonna switch to my rapier, and I would like to just be on a defensive. My defensive duelist.
That is if you get attacked.
Oh,
So
if I
that
get
kicks in. Yeah, that kicks in automatically. So you don't need to worry about that. But if
Okay.
you want to play defensive, I mean, there's two
Yes.
ways to go about it. Let me check.
I got fancy footwork. If during your turn you make a melee attack against a creature, it cannot make melee attack against you. I
Yeah,
think I like the
so-
sound of that.
Yeah.
I want to slash it as many times as I can. Just
Well, it's a
slash.
rapier. You stab.
Stabby
So
stab.
you make a kind of a lunging stab towards it, and you sort of keep it at the edge of your blade. So you're kind of doing that defensive fencing pose where you're just kind of like stabbing at it, and then you back up a few feet. You know what I mean? So give me a
Yeah,
moment.
it's fun. So I need to roll for all of that.
Well, it's just the D20 plus 6.
Yeah.
So what'd you roll?
I rolled a 20.
Nat
Like
20?
total or natural?
A natural 20.
Nice.
And now I gotta add.
Okay. Oh, no. Here's
And
no,
then
no.
piercing.
here's where things get interesting.
What I
When you
You
roll
did
a
good.
natural 20 in combat, you double all relevant damage dice.
do. Okay. What?
So normally you would roll 1d8 plus 3d6. In this
Cool.
case, you're going to roll 2d8 plus 6d6.
Okay, so let me go back and do that again. Well, yeah, so I roll a d20 again.
No. You're rolling the one. So like the rapier is 1d8 plus 3 piercing. You are rolling 2d8 because of the critical, Normally you would roll 3d6 because of sneak attack, but because you critted with the sneak attack, it becomes 6d6. So you're rolling 2d8 plus 6d6.
A lot of dice.
Yeah,
Good thing I pulled up
Rose.
this roll map. Okay. So
That's a lot of damage.
Sounds like it. Okay, so for the D6, I got total 20, and then for the 2D8, I only got 7 in total.
So 27 plus 3, so 30 total damage. Yeah, this thing, you keep it at arm's length, you see an opening as it roars at you, you just stab all the way through. And you actually feel the blade punch all the way through the back of its throat and stick out on the other side. And as you pull it out, it like writhes and screams, but it attempts to scream, but you have like severed its vocal cords with your stab, and as the internal bleeding becomes more than it can bear, it like just flops over dead in front of you.
Yay!
Flops, so it's like a puddle?
Yeah.
Well, no, it just kind of like it goes from a charging mound of flesh to a non-moving mound of flesh.
Ew. Okay. Ew.
The slaw in the back of the fridge has stopped moving.
Okay. I'm gonna take a look at the scenery. So, who's closest around me as I draw my short bow again?
Well, that's the end of your attack, but you do look around and you see the orcs are starting to push back. It would seem that much of the fight has kind of split into two directions. The orcs in one direction and the rest of the party in the other.
Okay.
With that, it's going to be this creature's turn. As as it reaches down, it grabs the place where Ural kind of punctured it with the tail. And it is going to use... It basically screams out. Devin, you are in the ethereal plane. This does not make you immune.
It doesn't?
No. Yeah. Fun little fact about psionics. Particularly mystics. So it is going to use telekinetic blast. I need Jace, Kaya, Devin, Ural, all of you to make strength saving throws.
Strength saving throw. Well, that's not good for me. Oh, good. 18 minus 1. So, 17.
17, okay.
18.
18. Ural?
22.
22. Yeah, it's a d20 plus your strength save.
Minus for me.
21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ural and Kaya, you both are only pushed back 5 feet, but you're still standing. Jace and Devin, you're both pushed back 20 feet and are prone.
Can a snake be prone?
Yeah, exactly.
You're rolled
over.
I mean, that doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't really matter, I know. I was just reading off what the ability does, okay? I created an action for it to do in Homebrew. I'm just reading off things. So Devin, you're in the ethereal plane. You can't really take damage. Unless it's Jace, you're a snake. So I mean, does a snake take falling damage? Can a snake be harmed by?
You drop any creature far enough. Okay, never mind. I lie. Probably.
Yeah, so we'll just say, I mean, you've got like an internal skeletal structure that's what's gonna take. So yeah, you take 2d6 fall damage. You know what? We're gonna not worry about that dice. So you take 12 bludgeoning damage. as you are basically thrashed against trees in the area. Also, any trees and shrubbery within like 20 feet is just leveled. Unless it was like a really sturdy tree. So like smaller trees and stuff. It's just gone.
Thank you all for joining us for Harmony's Fall. We look forward to seeing you again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.